If you've been struggling with productivity, I'm going to go over the 5 supplements that actually do work with increasing your productivity. If you don't know who I am, I'm Dr. LeGrand. I have ADHD and dyslexia and was able to successfully manage my own ADHD without using medication in a more natural way. Now I help adults all across the world to help them with their ADHD, their focus issues, memory issues. So if you're new here, welcome. So the very first supplement that actually I found to find increased productivity for my patients and clients that struggle with productivity, it's called Dopamine Active. Now, this is not a sponsored video, but the reason why I like this one is because it has a different combination of things that have to be addressed to increase productivity. One being phenylethylamine, which is an excitatory neurotransmitter, which is at the very beginning of the whole dopamine process. So usually productivity has issues with people who have lower dopamine levels. But if you address something at the very beginning, that could be the main culprit. And that's why it's found as an issue. And so that can help increase with productivity. But it also has D-L-phenylalanine, which is an amino acid that helps build tyrosine, which then tyrosine helps make L-Dopa, then L-Dopa helps make dopamine. And then on top of that, it does have N-L-C-L-tyrosine in it that does also help increase dopamine levels. So it has everything that you possibly need to improve dopamine, which then can help improve productivity and your focus and motivation and drive. Now, another big culprit to productivity that I see all the time with my patients and clients, their complaints is that they just don't have enough energy. If you don't have energy, then how are you going to be productive throughout the day? So what I see is a very common problem is it has to do with your cortisol levels. And when you have low energy throughout the day, you probably have low cortisol levels throughout the day, or at least it might be going down and up consistently. And so you don't have that consistency of being productive throughout the day. So if that is the case, one of the best things you can implement is adding some kind of adrenal support throughout the day. And one of my favorite ones to use is Adrenal Desiccated by Standard Process. Now, I only have them take it first thing in the morning and mid-afternoon. You don't want to take it at night because your cortisol levels need to be low at night anyways. But when you do that, especially if your cortisol levels are low in the first thing in the morning and also midday, and you take something like that to help increase those cortisol levels, so it'll help improve your energy. And guess what? It's going to help you be more productive because you have the energy to be a productive, efficient, and also stay focused throughout the day. Now, another big issue when it comes to productivity is really what's going on in the brain. Now, what usually typically the issue is the prefrontal cortex is located in the front lobe of the brain. And so this area is responsible for our executive functioning. It's responsible for our planning and managing our time, be able to do task initiation. So how to be productive, right? One of the things that I love using and continue to use, especially with my patients and clients, is when they are suffering with this, and especially if they're like working at a desk and they are having a hard time to being productive throughout the day, is I like to use something that can increase blood flow to the brain, especially blood flow to the prefrontal cortex and throughout the brain. You need circulation going on to provide nutrients and oxygen to the brain. And one of the most powerful herbs you can use is rosemary, because rosemary has plenty of research on this where it has been shown it does increase blood flow to the brain. The type of rosemary that I like using is essential oils. So I'll usually have a diffuser by my desk, be able to smell that and be able to find that I not only am more productive, but it also helps retain the information that I'm learning or retain the information that I am working on. Now, there's a couple other big problems that destroy our productivity. And one of them being is sleep. So if you are suffering with sleep, you're not going to be productive throughout the day. You're not going to have the energy. You're not going to be focused throughout the day. So if you're having sleep issues, and you probably have tried lots of different types of sleep pills, and I always ask this question to every single one of my patients and clients is ask them, okay, are you suffering with staying asleep or falling asleep or both? Now, if you have issues of both, one of the supplements that I like using that I find that's more effective is not just using melatonin, because that might just help you fall asleep, but not help you stay asleep. And the supplement I'm referring to is melatonin time release. So melatonin time release will release the melatonin throughout the night so that you can not only help you fall asleep, but also stay asleep throughout the night and have a good night's rest, and also can help reset your circadian rhythm, especially if you're someone that travels a lot into different time zones. It's good to use something like melatonin, especially melatonin time release, to reset your circadian rhythm so you get your sleep patterns back in track where they need to be. And then, of course, if you get better sleep, you're going to be more productive and have more energy throughout the day. And so this is why it's so vital. Now, if you are struggling with having lack of focus, energy, and being productive throughout the day, then you should download my free all-day energy and focus guide in the description below. Now, there's several other reasons of why you possibly can't be productive. And it could be a possibility of a micronutrient deficiency that's going on that is destroying your productivity, because there's vital vitamins and micronutrients that are required for the body to use in order to be productive. And some of the big ones that I do see when I run a lot of these different lab tests to understand, okay, what is the root problem of your productivity situation? And some of the biggest ones that I see creep up time and time again is looking at all your different B vitamins. So vitamin B6, vitamin B12, folate, vitamin B3, 4, 5, like all those different B vitamins, they can tend to be more deficient, especially if you have ADHD. And the reason why this is so important is because all the different B vitamins, especially vitamin B6, it is required as a cofactor to help build and modulate a lot of these different neurotransmitters, especially like something like dopamine. And if that is lacking, it's going to have a hard time building and modulating dopamine. But some other vital micronutrient deficiencies that I do see is like vitamin D3. So if you are suffering and having low energy and productivity, you might have low vitamin D3 levels. And by just supplementing that one thing, especially if you're deficient in it, you will see a pretty drastic improvement in your energy as well as your productivity throughout the day. In fact, I had a patient that was like literally the one thing that we found that was deficient, even though there was other things that were deficient, but that was the one thing that we changed. And she was not only able to be more productive and have more energy, but she was able to get rid of her ADHD medication. So you better believe that this can make a huge difference if you can detect it and find it. And some other big ones is like magnesium. Magnesium is definitely very common to be deficient, and it's such a vital electrolyte that we need throughout our body for our nervous system in order to be productive, in order to convert a lot of these different neurotransmitters, but it also can impact your sleep. So it's really good to take at night. I usually will have them take either magnesium citrate or glycinate, depending on what their needs are, but that can be really beneficial for sleep as well as helping with productivity. And then zinc's also another very common micronutrient deficiency that is also required for a lot of these different neurotransmitters. And probably another really big one would be iron. Now, iron is so vital for carrying oxygen and nutrients to our brain. We need iron. If you're deficient in iron levels, you're going to have issues with your productivity and energy throughout the day. But the thing is, supplements only take us so far. You know, it does require understanding really what is the root cause of your productivity situation or your ADHD situation that you're experiencing. So you should watch this video next, where I talk about my 3-step system to how to eliminate your productivity and your ADHD symptoms that you're experiencing. So watch this video next.